The forest does not scream when danger arrives. It does not announce death. It simply changes its silence. Somewhere deep within the dense rainforests of South and Southeast Asia, where mist clings to the ground and light struggles to break through the canopy, a presence moves without sound. No rustle of leaves, no warning shift in the undergrowth. Only an unsettling absence where life usually speaks in insects and birdsong. The king cobra does not appear the way danger is expected to appear. It does not rush, it does not chase. It emerges as if the forest itself has decided to take shape and observe. For centuries, human stories across India, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia have carried fragments of its existence. Not always in direct sightings, but in what remains afterward. Paths suddenly avoided by animals, villages speaking in lowered voices, and encounters described more through feeling than sight. A moment of stillness that felt wrong, a silence that arrived too early. Because when the king cobra is near, the forest does not warn you. It removes all other distractions. Unlike most predators that rely on aggression or speed, the king cobra operates on awareness. It studies its environment with an unnerving patience. Every vibration through the soil, every shift in air pressure, every trace of movement becomes part of a mental map being continuously updated. It does not rush decisions. It waits until certainty forms. Its reputation as a venomous serpent often overshadows what it truly is. One of the most behaviorally complex reptiles on Earth, it is not a mindless hunter. It is deliberate, controlled, almost measured in its responses to the world around it. The forest floor beneath its movement barely reacts. Leaves do not scatter. Branches do not snap. It glides with a precision that feels less like motion and more like intention. A body engineered not for spectacle, but for efficiency. When it rises, it does so with a calm inevitability. The hood expands not as an act of rage, but as a declaration of presence. A silent message written in posture. You are within something that does not retreat easily, but does not attack without reason either. The king cobra's venom is not designed for brutality. It is designed for control, a neurotoxic mechanism that interferes with the communication between brain and muscle. The body is not destroyed in chaos. It is disconnected in silence. Function fades before understanding can catch up. And yet, despite this biological precision, it does not seek unnecessary conflict. Its behavior often reveals avoidance rather than confrontation. Many encounters in the wild end not in attack, but in withdrawal, as if the creature has assessed the situation and decided that energy is better preserved than spent. In rare documented encounters, humans entering its territory often describe an identical sequence. First, the forest feels wrong. Birds stop calling. Insects shift their rhythm. Even the wind seems less random. Then comes the sighting, often incomplete, fragmented. A curve in the undergrowth. A shape that does not belong to the roots. A moment where perception struggles to confirm what instinct already understands. The king cobra does not rush forward, it evaluates. The distance, the posture, the motion, the threat level. Every detail becomes part of a silent calculation. When it rises, the moment stretches unnaturally. The world feels compressed into stillness. The cobra elevates part of its body, holding itself upright not as a challenge, but as a boundary. It is not advancing, it is stating limits. Most who have found themselves in such moments describe an overwhelming urge to retreat. Not from fear alone, but from something deeper. A recognition that the situation is being interpreted by a mind older than human caution. And then, just as suddenly as it appears, the tension resolves. If no threat persists, the cobra lowers itself and slips back into the undergrowth, disappearing as if it had never fully existed. The forest resumes its rhythm, but never quite the same as before. What remains is the understanding that this creature does not operate on the emotional framework humans project onto predators. It is not cruel, it is not kind. It is not interested in dominance for its own sake. It is simply aligned with survival in its purest form. The king cobra does not hunt humans, but it does not acknowledge them as exceptions either. In its world, everything is measured by presence, movement, and not identity. And that is where its true danger lies, not in aggression, not in chaos, but in neutrality so absolute it becomes unsettling. Because nature does not negotiate, it responds. And in that response, there is no morality, only consequence. The forest remembers everything that enters it, and the king cobra is one of its most precise instruments of awareness. In the end, there is no victory or defeat in these encounters. Only a brief intersection between two forms of life that understand the same rule from different sides. Nature's boundary is written in silence, long before it is written in blood.